One of the most iconic music groups in the world, ABBA, which is derived from the acronym of the members' first names, has recently been on the relevancy train again after their return. Most people have at least heard their music a couple of times and know just how legendary they are, but where were they before they became what they currently are? Here, we're going to take a look at ABBA before they were ABBA, so let's get right into it. Number 5. Agnetha Fältskog. A. Agnetha Fältskog was fond of music ever since she was a little kid. In her adolescence, she performed as a singer in public on various occasions, and later became a part of the Bernd Inghart Orchestra, and sang their music in nearby towns. At the age of 17, Agnetha put out a demo tape with her band of the song Jag var Sakhar, in front of little Gerhard, who was a famous producer back then. Gerhard recognized the young singer's potential and picked her out of the band as a solo artist. In 1968, Agnetha recorded her composition in Stockholm, where it hit the charts, after which Agnetha decided to stay in Stockholm to focus more on her music career. Soon after her contract with Inghart came to an end, and Agnetha began going out on tours by herself, she sent out her first LP to Kupol, and the second one in 1969, which is where she came across Bjorn at a TV show. The two got engaged just a year after and tied the knot the year after that. Number 4. Bjorn Ulvaeus. B. Bjorn Ulvaeus is perhaps the most well-known member of ABBA. The singer developed a knack for music at the age of 12 after he received his first guitar as a gift. He joined a band at his school called the Westway Singers, which also included Hans Schwarz, Johan Karlberg, and Tony Roth, all of whom toured Europe in 1963. Luckily for Bjorn, a new record company by the name of Polar Music were out looking for a folk band and got their hands on a demo tape by the Westway Singers, which was Ave Maria no Moro. The record company saw potential in the band and signed them, only after changing their name to the Hootenanny Singers, however. The band went on to release a number of hit songs, and the biggest one being In Sang En Gang for Langsen. 2 solo singles were recorded by Bjorn himself in 1968, and he has been working with Benny for more than 5 decades. Number 3. Benny Andersson. B. Benny was a music lover probably since the time he came out of the womb. Learning the accordion and the piano at the age of just 6, he became a member of the band Elverkets Spelmanslag. Benny met Christina Gronvall and got engaged to her, having 2 children, but the couple split not long after. The singer then joined the Hepstars sometime in 1964 as a replacement for their keyboard player, and that's when the band's journey of success started. The group introduced brilliant rock music to Sweden and won 8 gold records, becoming the biggest band to ever come out of Sweden. Hepstars got dissolved after a huge tax claim caused the company Hep House to go bankrupt, and this was when Benny met Bjorn at Polar Music. Benny's son is also playing the keyboard and is the founder of his own band called Sound of Music. You could say he's following in his father's footsteps. Number 2. Anni-Frid Lyngstad. A. Frida entered the world of music at the age of 13 through a band called Ewald Ek. The young singer then joined a well-known band known as Big Band. She got married to the band's bass player Ragnar Fredriksson, with whom she had 2 kids. Soon after, Anni-Frid started her own band and made a number of appearances in Eskilstuna in the early 60s. She won the singing contest Nja Ansikte. She then sang once again on the same day on another television program, Highlandshorna, and received a contract with EMI afterwards. She divorced Ragnar before her tour of the Swedish Folkspars with Lars Berghagen, and then went on another tour lasting around 2 years with Charlie Norman. She met Benny in 1969, and the 2 musicians got engaged, but got married 9 years later, which was also when ABBA was at its peak. Number 1. The beginning of the legendary ABBA. Now that all the members of ABBA are together, it was time for the legend to begin. At first, all of them kicked off their band by primarily contributing to other artists' songs, but in 1970, ABBA got the idea of putting all 4 of their voices together and making their own music, which they called the cabaret act Festfolk. This attempt failed, however, but the group knew what they were worth and did not give up. They recorded another song called People Need Love, which was somewhat of a hit in their country of Sweden. The fun part is, they didn't call themselves ABBA back then. This minor success raised their spirits, and they entered the 1973 Melodifestivalen with the song Ring Ring. Although they got 3rd place, their single and the album, which had the same name, became the biggest hits of the year in Sweden. The song also became a hit surrounding European countries, from which it slowly spread to the rest of the world. The legend of ABBA had begun, and as you know, the rest was history. This was the story of ABBA before they became one of the most iconic groups in the world. Their journey was by all means what one would call a success story.